Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Train Room. In 1950, the catalog said that I could order a 213 lift bridge, and that lift bridge cost me $15.95. And man, I would have wanted one, okay? Unfortunately, well, you couldn't buy one because they ended up not making that, but they did show it in the picture, which is really kind of cool. I have here a really special piece. This is the counterweight from one of the mock-ups of the 213 lift bridge. Isn't this cool? Wait, where's the rest of it? Well, that's coming your way.
A minute's guaranteed when you're in command of your own Lionel trains. Now watch her grip that track as she climbs. She'll never slip or slide. That's Magna Traction, boy, and only Lionel's got it.
1950 was a banner year for Lionel. The 50th anniversary of the company and a slew of new motive power with Magna Traction were highlighted. Exciting new accessories such as the coal ramp, oil derrick, and real railroad lift bridge were boldly cataloged, exciting young engineers. Unfortunately for us, the 213 real railroad lift bridge was not produced. A huge operating bridge that was set to cost less than a 164 lumber loader never made it into production. The lift bridge was originally shown in the 1950 Advanced Catalog. The bridge that we're inspecting today most closely matches this image, with the way the bridge is constructed to the details on the top of the bridge piers. The bridge was also highlighted in the consumer catalog and was listed for sale at $15.95. That's equivalent to $205 in today's money. A significant sum, but also cheaper than the $21.50 needed to buy a 164 lumber loader. It's also noted in the Facts About Lionel Trains for the Man Who Sells Them booklet that was used by salesmen to ensure they had key talking points needed to sell more trains. Noting, under new accessories, a handsome steel electric lift bridge operated by remote control halts the train while raising and lowering its center span adds a thrill to any railroad pike. So, how close did the bridge come to production? Was a box designed and made for it? Why did they cancel production? And how many pre-production bridges are out there? Not sure, but let's give this one a closer look. Okay guys, this is special. In the 1950 catalog, there was a 213 real railroad lift bridge available for $15.95. And it shows this picture, and you're sitting there going, in 1950, I want that. So you go down to your dealer and say, I want a 213 lift bridge. Well, guess what was not available? The 213 lift bridge. Okay? All these pictures here, well, it's of a piece that, well, they just didn't make. But that doesn't mean they didn't make one. Behind here, and right here for you guys, is one of those sort of pre-production mock-up, let's get this thing to work, 213 lift bridges. All right, this particular piece has some history through some pretty high powered collectors from back in the day, and this is a well-documented piece. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is, well, a little bit of its construction. First of all, it is metal, okay? These are metal strips that have been soldered together, painted gray, and all put together. This is all metal, including the base of the lift portion of the bridge. It has the little connectors here. It's got a huge motor here. It has the big crossbars for stabilization here, as well as a base. It's painted, of course, this sort of silverish color, and it has kind of the same girdering that you would see on some of the girder bridges or so that of the age. So this is just an absolutely neat piece. The other piece that's with here is this guy right here. Like, well, what is this box? This is actually the counterweight that would have gone in here. It's just disconnected from the piece at that point. This is absolutely so cool. So again, the idea of the lift bridge is the train would come to a stop. You'd have maybe a faux waterway or anything underneath here, and it would stop, and then you'd activate the lift bridge. The lift bridge motor would turn. There would be a counterweight here. I believe these probably turn too. And then this part of the bridge, I'm going to be super careful with it, this part of the bridge would lift up out of the way. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is so cool. And then it would come back down, allowing the train to go through. Right, all the way, which is really neat. Now, the reason they didn't make this, well, the more you look at this, the more complicated this particular piece is. And sure enough, there's no way that I think back in 1950 they would have been able to have made this piece and it been economical. Again, they offered this piece for $15.95. But when I think they tried to really figure out whether or not that would be cost effective to put that much engineering and that much attention to building these, they said, wait a minute, this is not going to work. This is an absolutely cool piece. I'm going to show you some other close-up details in just a second. So what we have here is actually two versions of the 1950 Advanced Catalog. This is a spiral-bound sort of executive copy of the catalog, which shows it's new, it's different, it's the lift bridge. And then we also have basically the same image that's in the more traditionally found advanced catalog. So as we flip through our pages and find our lift bridge right here, this is what we're looking at. And this particular bridge is the one that most closely matches the one that we're inspecting today. So let's take a look. Brand new bridge is written on the side here of the catalog. It says it's new, it's different, it's as fine as only Lionel can make it. The number 213 lift bridge for $15.95. Pretty fantastic. There's some wording down here. It basically says, this will be the most popular bridge Lionel has ever made. It is constructed of steel with handsomely detailed steel struts. It is 26 inches long, 13 inches high, and 4.5 inches wide. Center span is raised by chains, automatic or remote control operation, has a removable section so that it can be operated over a ravine or simulated river, most realistic in operation, and every model railroad fan will love this new Lionel lift bridge. Can be used with 027 and O-gauge track. It shows a sort of a picture of it closed and a picture of what it would look like opened. And again, these are the little spans that could be removed if needed. Let's take a little closer look at what this looks like and see how it compares to the bridge we're examining today. First of all, the actual construction of the bridge, again, is pretty spot on. There's sort of these little cross members on the sides of the piers. The bridge section has a little bit of an arch, and more kind of take a little closer look at sort of the way that this is attached across these sort of flatter pieces. Later pictures sort of show this X pattern across the top. The other is noting that this is, of course, kind of looking at almost reverse of the way that had sort of set it up. This is the counterweight, so it slides in this little slot up and down, providing, again, counterweight for when this section gets raised. And then you have the motor over here. The big key to the whole thing, too, is sort of the added detail that you see on the top here. You see these little round parts that sort of simulate some of the pulleys and actions of the bridge that aren't necessarily shown in the 1950 catalog. So I'm just going to show you for comparison. This is the advanced catalog, but when you look at the image that's shown in the consumer catalog, There are some differences in the bridge that's shown. The piers are very similar. The bridge has a little more detail across the top, and you notice how the top of the piers are a little more sort of simplified per se and don't have as much material. So this may be a little later version of a mock-up compared to this one here. And again, this one here shown in the advanced catalog is a much closer representation to what the bridge that we're inspecting today looks like. Still absolutely fantastic. And I get to inspect cool stuff like this mock-up of the 213 lift bridge. Wow. Always working. This is awesome. Hey guys, that's my video. Appreciate you listening and watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. You know, it's been 1 year since I started this channel, and I have had so much fun sharing some of the rare, unusual, and oddball trains with you. And again, I hope you like them too. I love hearing the feedback from you. And hey, if you like some, give me a little checkbox. I always appreciate that. And by the way, tell your friends. If you've got a post-war Lionel collector that you know hasn't seen Brian's Train Room yet, it's time you kind of introduce them to me. Got some great stuff to show them, and guess what? There is way more coming your way. Now, I don't do these videos by myself. I have a number of friends and fellow collectors that have shared pieces, information, and all the things that I need to be able to try and put this thing together for you, and I thank them at the very end because I cannot do this without their help. So, hey, keep watching. Got some great stuff coming your way. And again, as always, thanks for joining me on Brian's Train Room.
Lionel Express, all aboard. Look at her streak along the rails. It's a Lionel.